Hello everyone, and welcome back to Patrick Replies, the show where I, Patrick, reply to your comments and questions about the most recent video, and today we are talking about the Taylor Swift video, which for the first week and a half was the biggest flop this channel has had in well over a year. The video fully tanked. And then last weekend I changed the title and thumbnail with some input from other people at Nebula, and it kind of turned around, and now it's doing average. So I'm glad. It was a bit of a bummer there to look at it and be like, oh, so I make one video about a female pop star, and it turns out my 90% male audience refuses to watch it. So it's okay. It's okay, the video is doing fine now. Don't need to worry about it. And I'm glad because I really like this video. I think it turned out really well. I had a lot of fun making it. And so let's get on to the comments, because one thing not really related to the topic of the video, but there was a lot of talk about Mission ImPATsible, because if you hadn't already seen on Twitter and Instagram, we revealed in the video that Mission ImPATsible worked. It happened. I went to the world premiere of Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 in Rome. That happened. I really did that. I also went to the New York premiere this past Monday. But anyway, a lot of comments about Mission ImPATsible. Kickin' Impossible here says, watch the intro and the ending, skipped the Taylor Swift part. I hope you go back and watch it. I was expecting Mission ImPATsible and was not disappointed. Mission ImPATsible more like Mission Patsible. Yay, congrats on accomplishing Mission ImPATsible. Yay, Mission ImPATsible was a success. It would be pretty funny if Patrick successfully got tickets to the Mission Impossible premiere but never gets tickets to the Taylor Swift show. So one thing that I would like to clarify here is that Mission ImPATsible was fairly sincere. I was genuinely trying to go to the Mission Impossible premiere. In this video, I'm not actually trying to get tickets to Taylor Swift's Eras Tour. That is really just a narrative that we came up with to set up motivation for why I'm making this video. To be clear, I would love to attend the Eras Tour, but I was just lazy and didn't even try to get tickets in real life. And so this video, I promise, is not a ploy to get tickets. That said, Taylor, if you're watching, I will gladly take an extra ticket or two if you've got them laying around. That's all. Mission ImPATsible was a success. Also love the video and deep dive on Taylor's filmmaking history and collaborators. Thank you. Congratulations on the successful mission. Yeah, the response about all this stuff was very nice. And look, this would not have worked out if the audience hadn't gotten behind it and yelled at Paramount Pictures a lot to send me a ticket. And so, sincerely, thank you all for rallying behind this truly dumb cause. I promise it was a lot of fun, and I'm so happy it worked out. I had a great time. And before we dive into Taylor Swift stuff, the other thing that we have to bring up is there were a whole lot of comments about Taytos, as in the bag of Taytos that I am eating at the beginning of the video. If you are not familiar with Taytos, Taytos are the main brand of potato chip, are crisp, that you get in Ireland. They're so big in Ireland that there is a theme park outside of Dublin called Tayto Park. The main flavor for Taytos, there is no original flavor. The main flavor is cheese and onion, and they are delicious. The best chips, I love them so much. Back around Christmas, one of my aunts in Ireland sent my family a care package of Irish chocolates and Taytos and stuff, and so, I've got a collection of Taytos in my apartment that I ration, I save for special occasions. And I guess I decided that, the beginning of a video was a special occasion. I thought it would be fun to just be eating Taytos on camera. Look, I'm just pandering to the Irish audience, who I know will get excited about Taytos. James Candler 6823 says, things you love to see. 1, that opening title sequence. It's good. 2, Patrick at the Mission Impossible premiere. 3, a surprise bag of Taytos I didn't know you could get in the US. Working theory is Patrick's mom manifested them through sheer Irishness. Well, I mean, sort of. Irish relatives mailed them here, so close enough. But also, there are stores in the US that stock imported Irish goods, and so you can get Taytos here. Andrew Murphy 5055 says, great video as always, Pat. The highlight being, of course, the Tayto cameo at the start, the god of crisps. OMFG, the Tayto. Patrick is a real one for having Taytos at the start of the video. Patrick eating Taytos right at the gate is always a good sign. Tayto. Look, the people love Taytos, and I just try to give them what they want. Wow, so many... Oh, Tayto Swift. That's good. Oh, another Tayto Swift comment. So let's move on. Let's address the YouTube comments. So as usual, we will cover the YouTube comments first that Emma Logsdon has selected because I don't actually want to go through the comment section myself. And then after this, we'll cover the questions from the Ask Patrick channel on our Discord server. So let's dive in. I Choose Life 24 says, hi Patrick and Emma. As someone who is not in your target demographic, so I guess not a male ages 25 to 34, this video is a real delight. I'm a Taylor fan, and it's my name, huh? Though not a Swiftie. This was a great dive into Taylor's process that still had a healthy objectivity. In your opinion, do you think she will make a tour film of Eras like she did of Reputation for those of us who couldn't nab tickets? So the question here is, do I think there will be a concert film of the Eras tour? I predict there will, because the last big tour Taylor Swift did was the Reputation tour, and there was a concert film on Netflix. There was no Lover tour, but then like during, the pandemic era, she did like a small scale, kind of like mini concert movie on Disney Plus for Folklore and Evermore, the Long Pond sessions. And so I think in general, like every real distinct era, especially if there's a tour, I feel like she's gonna do some kind of concert film. So and the Eras tour is like such a big deal and seems like such an elaborate production that I can't imagine they're not going to film one of the shows and release a concert film on some streaming platform. I think so. Oh, also, I've been a fan of yours for a long time, but really got hooked and compelled to subscribe to Nebula with your Little Women video a couple years ago. Thanks for making videos about stuff you like, even if it's not always what people expect. I love hearing when people like the Little Women video or the Mamma Mia video are now the Taylor Swift video. Basically, when people like the occasional videos about like female-led things or stuff that is like not traditionally aimed at men. And those videos, don't usually do as well as other videos. They don't do terribly, but they're usually not the biggest hits. And look, all I have to say is if you are one of my majority male viewers and you see one of these videos about women pop up, give it a shot. You might enjoy it. Also, like, watch Little Women and Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again, and listen to Taylor Swift music. It's all good stuff. M. Hwang says, what does the stats on the channel tell you about the age demographic of your viewers? Because the fact that Emma loved the Hannah Montana movie at 8 also makes me feel old as fuck. Let's check my analytics. Okay, so let's look at this for the past 90 days. Apparently, 2.8% of my audience is between 13 and 17. 31.7%, so about a third, is 18 to 24. 35% is 25 to 34, the biggest percentage. And then 18.8%, 35 to 44. And then there's 1.3%, which is ages 65 and up. Interesting. I'm assuming that's all like my parents' friends who they've just told to watch the videos. Anyway, there you go. The Ninja Monkey says, not sure who your costume designer is, but Emma's outfit is awesome. Our costume designer is ourselves. So, the credit for Emma's cool outfit goes to Emma. Emma just showed up dressed that way, so good job, Emma. Martin Pardal, as usual, I am probably mispronouncing every name. Enchanted is on Speak Now. Emma is right, people. Listen to Emma. I'm going to admit that I am not that familiar with Enchanted because Speak Now is not one of the albums that I've listened to that much. But look, Speak Now, Taylor's version, just dropped. And so this is my chance to finally give Speak Now and Enchanted a fair shake. So I'm going to listen to Emma. Daniel Martinez says, Patrick, now I'm curious. Have you gotten tickets to see TS? Nope, I have not. But it seems like this tour is going to be going on for so long. Like, there's a whole extra, like, international leg of it. So, like, maybe I'll go to one next year in, like, Sweden. That'd be fun. Isaac says, does anyone know what model of radio that was at the beginning? I can answer that question. Here's the radio. It is by a company called Pronus. It's the J120 portable radio. See, I just packed it back up again. There it is. I don't really have any use for this anymore. I just bought it as a prop for this one video, so I don't know. Does anyone want to buy it from me? I'll, like, get a Sharpie and sign it if you want. Scott Rawlings says, nice Master Builder in-jokes. Come in. So, a funny thing about this, if anyone listens to the podcast Blank Check, you might be familiar with their episode on Jonathan Demme's A Master Builder, arguably Jonathan Demme's least popular movie. You know, the adaptation of the Ibsen play that Wallace Shawn wrote the screenplay for. Anyway, they make a whole bit out of Wallace Shawn saying "come in," and I think it's funny. I also added a little like Easter egg about that into Night of the Coconut, if anyone caught that. But anyway, the "come in" Master Builder quote in this video is not actually intended as a Blank Check reference, because Jake is, I think, maybe the only person in the world who likes A Master Builder. And I don't think Jake has listened to that Blank Check episode, and so Jake literally just wrote that as a Master Builder reference. And then I had to be like, this Blankies are gonna love this. But yeah, that's how that happened. And I did watch the clip of Wallace Shawn doing that a lot, so I tried to, do my best imitation of it.
Come in!
Mellow Gaming says, did Henson Shaving specify the term smooth as a sexy baby? Bold choice. No. Henson Shaving didn't specify anything other than that apparently they encouraged me to have fun with how I integrated them, which we did. So in the world of sponsored videos, there's a real art to what we call the segue, as in how to, segue from the essay into the ad read. And when I was writing that and figuring out how to do it, I had made this list, just like in my notes app, of Taylor Swift song titles and lyrics that I thought would be fun to work into the essay somewhere, like Call It What You Want or It Feels Like a Perfect Night, stuff like that. And one of the lines I had on there was, sometimes it feels like everybody is a sexy baby from Antihero, which is arguably the craziest line Taylor Swift has ever written.
Sometimes I feel like everybody is a sexy baby.
And as I was like, where do I put that line in? Then I was like, wait a second. We're talking about shaving. Babies are smooth. Sexy baby. You're shaving, so you're smooth. This is it. So yeah, that was me, and I'm very proud of it. And when I submitted the ad read to Henson Shaving, they had no notes about that line, and I was really glad, because I was like, I'm not cutting this out. This line stays. Sorry, my stupid chair keeps creaking. I guess I shouldn't lean back. I'll just, hunch forward. Anyway, Nova Moen says, the ending of the Lavender Haze video actually does make sense in the video, too. It means that instead of feeling trapped in a room, 1950s shit, as she says in the song, she feels liberated, even if she is in a relationship. And if you take it further, she has a scene in the Lover music video where she and her love interest are swimming in a fishbowl. She describes this scene as what her fame feels like to her. So in Lavender Haze, she's still in the water, but she has now found a way to hide in plain sight, even though she's in the bowl. And of course, koi fish is not just a Speak Now reference, but they are a symbol of love. They swim in pairs, and them being large also shows the size difference, like she is trapped in the fishbowl, but she can make herself smaller, keep things private, to feel less trapped and create her own little oceanic magical universe. Some infinities are bigger than the other infinities, or in this case, universes. That you make a really strong case for why there is more to the ending of the Lavender Haze video than I gave it credit for. I'm sorry for criticizing Taylor's directing there. You know what? I'm gonna watch it again and see if I agree with your take. But that sounds pretty valid to me. Mark Vandermolen says, 3 minutes in, 2 things. Incredible laugh out loud moment with the essay should be no longer than click. Thank you, I'm proud of that one. And the prologue almost looks like it's shot on film. It's not, right? Just amazing coloring. Moon Safari Film says, I think they put a black pro mist filter on the lens. The softer contrast and highlight bloom really add to the look. Okay, so here is the info about how the videos look the way they do. It is less complicated than you might think. So we shoot the essay portions and the narrative portions on different lenses. The essay portions are what I'm actually shooting this on right now, which is a Sigma 35mm autofocus lens that is quite sharp, and I always, including right now, have a 1/4 black pro mist filter on it to soften it up a little bit. And also with the essay, since we have the really hard backlight coming in, I like that it creates the little like highlight bloom. I'm doing my poor imitation of Robert Richardson. But then the narrative sections are always shot on vintage Canon FD lenses, and I don't actually put any filters on those. But those kind of naturally are a little bit softer and have a little bit of bloom in the highlights. We usually use either 35s or 50s for those, and I use different LUTs for the essay. Like I use one LUT for all the narrative stuff, and then a different LUT from the same collection, but like model on a different film stock for the essay. And I think the big thing is I put film grain on the narrative stuff. So the combination, I think, of the film grain and the vintage lenses and the LUT all combine to give it a bit of a filmic look. And yeah, I'm glad that you think it looks good. It's a pretty simple process. Like it really does not take very long. But I'm happy with how it looks. And the key thing for me is that there's like a very clear like aesthetic separation between like essay and narrative. So I want them to feel different. Phoenix Encore says, not Matt Pat as the radio announcer. You didn't say anything about it. Maybe I'm wrong. The announcer is not Matt Pat. So no, the radio DJ is not Matt Pat. I feel like I always say this, but like I don't watch a lot of YouTube. I am vaguely aware of who Matt Pat is, but I've never seen one of his videos or heard his voice. No, the radio DJ is our own Mike Curran, who co-writes the narrative sections and co-wrote Night of the Coconut. And Mike had written pretty much all the DJ dialogue, and so I was like, Mike, I think you know exactly how this should sound, so you take that part. So yeah, there you go. Big Blue Backpack says, will we be seeing Jake on camera again anytime soon, or will he be busy with his family for the foreseeable future? I think you're forgetting that Jake is canonically dead. Charles killed him. He died in the last season in the trilogies episode. Yeah. So I don't know why Jake would appear on camera again when he is dead and not living. There we go. Alejo Paredes. I'm so sorry that I probably got your name wrong. For what it's worth, Patrick, I do think you were the Taylor Swift of YouTube. Thank you so much. That is very kind. P.S. Please do musical numbers at the end of every video. I mean, I would love to. I really would. The song at the end of this video, as we call it, All Too Well, parentheses, Patrick's version, Jake wrote the lyrics, Brian did the music, Chloe recorded the vocals. It turned out so well. I really love it. Any time that I can be like, hey guys, make a song, and then they make something so much better than I ever could have hoped for, I love it. It is a lot of work. The songs have to be motivated. We can't force them into every episode, but I'm always looking for new opportunities to fit in a song or a musical number. Yeah, now I'm realizing we had in 2 back-to-back episodes, we had a dance number and then a song. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. We should be getting millions of views. We're putting in way too much effort for the views we're getting. Anyway, next question. Matthew Sawzin? Matthew Sawzin says, Chloe sounded so good. Of course she did. Chloe always sounds great. I mean, Chloe's a professional. Chloe's the best. Whenever there's a song, whenever I'm like, hey, Chloe, can you record vocals for this thing? Not only does Chloe like record vocals and knock it out of the park, but Chloe will also like arrange and record and mix backing vocals. So she really always goes like the extra mile, and it always sounds so good. Yeah. Chloe's great. Everyone should just be hiring Chloe for stuff. Just don't hire her so much that she's not free to work with me anymore. CBPD89 says, I just noticed a little riff in the opening theme song that sounds a lot like a riff from Dancing Queen. I was wondering if Brian Matolius intentionally put that as a reference to the Mamma Mia video, or if it is a happy accident of a similar sounding piano riff. I do not know, but I am going to text Brian right now about this and see what he says, because I'm curious. This had never occurred to me before. Also, I just want to say, it is so hot in this room. I am so sweaty right now. I had to leave the room with the air conditioning to come in here. And it's rough. Okay, so response from Brian. So he says, all caps, holy shit. It's funnier than that. Yes, it is 100% Dancing Queen, but I did that because I love ABBA. Yes, 100%. I ask, so it was deliberate? Absolutely. I say, amazing. Brian says, but I didn't think of it as a connecting back thing. I just love ABBA. Oh, and I told Brian that we're filming the Replies video, and Brian says, hello everyone, I love ABBA. So there's your answer from the man himself. Oh, and amazing timing, our next question from Naeem Siddiqui, Brian Matolius is a fucking genius. It's true. He is. I've known this for years. And by the way, if you have not bought a vinyl copy of the Night of the Coconut soundtrack, produced by Mondo, a beautiful, beautiful thing with an amazing cover painted by Colin Murdoch, you should get one of those. It's on our merch store or at the Mondo website. Everyone should own one. Tiny Lil Treasures says, correction, in No Body, No Crime, it's the friend of the wife who murders the cheating, guilty husband. Yeah, a bunch of people pointed this out. I realized my mistake basically like right after I released the video, and then it was too late to change it. Yeah, you know what? You get caught up writing a video and you get a little bit mixed up about who did what in the narrative of No Body, No Crime, and so I am sorry that I made that mistake. It's my bad. Obican says, not exactly a pop star, but Dave Grohl has done some pretty good projects. Most noteworthy are Sound City and Sonic Highways. Yeah, so those things are both documentaries that Dave Grohl has directed. And he's also directed, I looked this up earlier, a bunch of Foo Fighters music videos. But he hasn't made the move to like directing narrative filmmaking, and so I wonder if he will. Dave Grohl seems like a cool guy. I like it when he acts. Just seems like a fun guy to have around. Moore Meal says, loved the video on Nebula. Thank you. I'm surprised you didn't touch on Tyler, the Creator's directing. Are you familiar with his work? Yeah, I've seen a few Tyler, the Creator music videos. So his directing work is pretty much all music videos. And the thing is, like, there are quite a few artists who have, like, directed their own music videos. And honestly, if I talked about all of them who have, the video would have been way too long. So I really just tried to focus on the other like major like A-level pop stars like Prince, Madonna, Beyonce, who transitioned to like feature film, like more like narrative directing, because that's the route that Taylor Swift is going to take. So look, with every video, you got to make choices about what you're going to cover and what you leave behind. And I'm sorry, Tyler, the creator, you didn't make the cut. NBNB says, I'm so happy for Patrick that he got to the Mission Impossible premiere. The power of the internet can be used for good. Me too. The internet, usually bad, occasionally okay. I'm not that much of a fan of Taylor Swift, but this was still really interesting. Honestly, I love hearing that from people who are like, I, was not interested in this topic, but I clicked on the video anyway, and now I think it's interesting. That, I'm like, I did my job. Mission accomplished. Also, personally, I thought the month-plus period between videos was just a YouTuber setting boundaries on their time, and everything is always so high quality, it's worth it. Nope, I'm not setting any boundaries. I am not trying to have a healthy work-life balance and work a normal schedule. I'm doing a bad job at all of those things. It's just that the videos are really, really complicated and time-consuming to make. Like, I am shooting this right now at 10:30 p.m. on a Saturday night because my schedule is dumb. Anyway, moving on. Mayonnaise says, congrats on making it to the MI premiere, Patrick. I found your channel through your Mission Impossible videos, which made me realize the love that I have for this franchise, so it feels like it's come full circle somehow. Yes. I don't know if you'll ever take a stab at the James Bond movies next, maybe my second favorite action film franchise ever after Mission Impossible, but I know that I'll be here for it, and all your subsequent videos, of course. Well, thank you. So, as far as James Bond goes, I was supposed to make a James Bond video 3 years ago. I may have said this before in one of these videos, but I'll say it again anyway. So I'm usually very bad at making like topical videos, or like if there's a big movie coming out, like making a video about a related topic timed around the same time. So it's like, ooh, I'll capture the attention of people who are excited about this thing. I'm really bad at that because my schedule is nonsense, and I just fail. But anyway, in early 2020, lest we forget, No Time to Die was supposed to open in like April 2020, and I had this idea for a James Bond video for a while, and so I was like, ooh, what if for once I actually like time things correctly, and I release my Bond video like right around when No Time to Die comes out, and so it'll be topical. And then there was a thing called the coronavirus, or COVID-19, and it led to a lot of movies getting delayed. And then No Time to Die got delayed so many times that I kept being like, well, I'll do the video whenever that movie comes out. And then by the time the movie finally did come out, I was so tied up with other stuff, I was like, well, I can't like slot in a James Bond video now. And so now, here I am in 2023. Who knows when we'll get another Bond movie again, but I have an idea for one, and eventually I will make it. But I have no idea when that'll be. Delaney Bird says, hello, literally only 5 minutes in, but I just have to say this is why I love your videos. You cover topics that are so interesting and culturally relevant, but in a rather unique way, and I love that you just make whatever you want, algorithm be damned, i.e. your Mamma Mia video, which I hold near and dear to my heart. Thank you very much. I also, like, what you were saying is basically true, but it is also like, oh yes, this is why the channel is not more successful, because I make choices that are not smart commercially. Anyway, also based on the comments, you did get to go to the MI premiere, and it truly couldn't have happened to a more worthy person. Thank you so much. Your MI video is the entire reason I gave the movies a chance, despite my strong dislike for Tom Cruise, and now I love them. See, he came around. TC knows what he's doing. Can't wait to see the new one. As someone who has now seen Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 3 times, it's extremely good. Good movie. Thumbs up. Wow, one sec. Gotta wiping sweat off my head. Okay, One Less Helper says, as a fan of film and as a fan of Taylor Swift, which I went to the Eras tour back in April, aka the best experience of my life, I am jealous. This video was like made for me, and it was great to watch. I don't think she will be the greatest filmmaker out there, but I think she will have a very good career as a filmmaker for all the reasons you brought up in the video and more. And I will be there for her first feature day one. Also, congratulations on going to the MI7 premiere. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying Taylor Swift is going to be the next Martin Scorsese. I think she will have more of a movie career than Prince did, and I think it'll be genuinely interesting. I mean, she's a huge, rich, powerful enough figure to basically just like self-fund her movies if she wants to, and she seems passionate enough about it to like really like, commit to it and go hard. And so yeah, I'm just excited to see what she's gonna do. Okay, so now in the YouTube comments, the other thing that I have to address, because there were a lot of comments about this, is in regards to one point I made in the video, where I talked about one shot in the music video for The Man that holds on a shot of a wall for like 15 seconds, and I say that nothing is happening and the shot is kind of stiff and dull and not dynamic. Here's some of the responses. In The Man, you stated that the shot is held on the man for too long with nothing for us to look at but his back. The signs on either side are deeply meaningful, and I believe she held it to ensure that we saw them rather than hidden Easter eggs. The right sign is no scooters. Scooter Braun is the asshole who owns her first 6 masters and has bullied her for years. The left sign is along the lines of lost masters. If found, please return to Taylor Swift. I was confused by the signs when I first saw it because they were in the shot for so long they must be important. So I Googled. That was the day I learned about the Masters' ownership and Scooter Braun. Here's another one. Great video. I'd like to offer one correction to the observation you make. You can skip ahead. Will those longer shots contain a gazillion Easter eggs and the camera sits at that angle longer to allow the Swifties to catch those Easter eggs? But that shot in The Man was because there were some serious messages to the Swifties. I know you said you didn't care about Easter eggs, but then went on to say the shot in The Man is too long and creates dead energy. All of the graffiti on the wall is important Easter eggs, and there's a lot going on, so it's time for fans to pick up on the Easter eggs. But The Man part of the music video is significant. It is the order she is re-releasing her albums. Okay, so there's a lot of comments about this. Okay, so basically what everyone is saying here is that in this shot that lasts for about 15 seconds, that I said is not visually dynamic because nothing is happening in it, everyone is telling me that actually there's lots of visual information and Easter eggs filling the frame, and so the length of the shot is to give us time to read them all and to process all the Easter eggs. And I get that. I should have said this in the video, but like, yes, I understood what all the Easter eggs there were. I'm well aware of the whole, Scooter Braun conflict and re-recording the albums and all of that stuff. And so I got the various references she was making with the graffiti and the signs on the wall. But here's the thing. Easter eggs are supposed to be like an extra little bonus detail that like eagle-eyed viewers or like really serious fans can catch if they're paying close attention. You don't want to force every viewer to stare at the Easter eggs and like beat them over the head like, look, there they are. You pay attention to them. The thing is, if the shot were like 25% as long, it's on YouTube. People can pause it if they want to look closely and catch all the Easter eggs. There's still nothing really happening visually. And if the only purpose of the shot is to just like read a lot of stuff on the screen while nothing is happening, I don't think that's a very successful shot. That's all it is. Like, I think the Easter eggs are clever, but they can't be the entire purpose of a shot. That's all I'm saying. I should have been clearer about that in the video. I mean, this connects to what I was saying about the Lavender Haze video, which is that Easter eggs are fun, she's very good at them, but there has to be more to something than just Easter eggs. That's all it is. Okay, so now we are going over to the questions from the Ask Patrick channel in our Discord server. If you're not aware, the Discord server is available exclusively to members of the Patreon, so if you want to submit questions for the Patrick Replies videos and support the channel, the Patreon is a great place for that. And so, up first, Asmar says, "Hi Patrick, I wanted to ask you, you didn't mention it in the video, but Taylor Swift also starred in feature films like Tom Hooper's Cats and David L. Russell's Amsterdam. Do you think the roles she chooses to take on, even tiny ones, also play into the overarching Taylor Swift universe's narrative? If so, in what capacity?" In the extended version of the video on Nebula, there's a whole extra section about her experience with film, whether acting in various movies, are like the movie references in her songs. And so I have covered all this stuff already, so I would say head over to Nebula and watch the extended cut. Kirk says, "Hi Patrick, what do you think of other musicians turned directors, like Talking Heads frontman David Byrne's film True Stories, the various horror films directed by Rob Zombie, and Donald Glover's work on his show Atlanta, and how he wrote a screenplay for a short film to coincide with his album Because the Internet, linking the track list to different parts of the lore between his last album Camp and Because the Internet?" I admittedly have not seen True Stories, the David Byrne movie. I think it's the only movie David Byrne directed. And I haven't really seen enough Rob Zombie movies. The thing is, Rob Zombie is probably the most successful musician turned filmmaker. Like, at this point, he's almost thought of more as a director than he is as a musician, because he's made so many movies and has been like pretty successful for a guy making mostly low budget horror. But I don't really have a strong opinion on him. And with Donald Glover, I think his directing work on Atlanta is extremely good. So yeah, I think like I'm excited to see what he does as a filmmaker going forward, because I assume he'll, direct a movie or two. So yeah, that's really my take on those guys. Charles, number 47, says, "Hi Patrick, are there any other musical artists that stand out to you as candidates to become legitimate real-deal directors? Personally, my first thoughts during the video went to more creative director head auteur types, as you explain in the video with Beyonce's approach to filmmaking. A lot of modern hip-hop artists like Travis Scott and JID have likened themselves as Kubrick-type auteur figures, but Taylor's approach seems to open the door to other less obvious picks." So yeah, so some of these people, so for instance, like Travis Scott is one of these guys who is like mostly just like directed a lot of his music videos. And that, to be fair, is mostly what Taylor Swift has done as well, except that she is like clearly like actively moving into like feature film directing, like in the film industry. Also, lest we forget, Travis Scott has collaborated with Christopher Nolan, so that's important. But who could become a legitimate real deal director? I think Beyonce could if she wanted to, but maybe she would just rather stick with like stuff like Lemonade, the sort of like video art piece / music video hybrid thing. But honestly, I think maybe Taylor Swift, because like with like the narrative and storytelling in her music career, going to film is such a natural transition, and she seems to have like a genuine passion for it, and be like taking it very seriously. And so, yeah, I think maybe her. Paris says, "Hello, Patrick. Your Taylor Swift video is excellent. Thank you. And I love that you're taking these left field choices in your video essays, as they feel fresh and very interesting, just like all your other video essays. Good job, buddy. Thank you. My question is, in the video, you mentioned that Taylor Swift is always shaking up her persona and musical style from one album to the next, sometimes drastically. Do you think this would translate well to her feature film work if she were to be successful? Perhaps she could do so through genre, but maybe also visually too." I don't think Taylor Swift like shakes up her persona as she's not like a David Bowie figure, like taking on a full new identity. I think with her, it was mostly just like the shifts to the Reputation era and then out of the Reputation era that were the most drastic shifts she really had, because even though like the production sound of the music might change, I think the types of songs she's making at their core is pretty consistent throughout. And it's funny because I know I think it was the Toronto International Film Festival talk, was that the one where she was saying that she couldn't imagine ever like directing an action scene, that she thought that was the thing that she'd never do? Which is funny now because since, our episode came out, she released the music video for I Can See You, where, she directs fight scenes. And so I do still kind of think that she leaves that stuff for the music videos, since they're like pretty short little projects where she can like play around and experiment. But no, I mean, I really do think that her movies will probably mostly, stick with like reality-based, like kind of smaller scale dramas, comedies about like regular humans. That's what I expect. That said, I am ready to be totally wrong. I would love to see Taylor Swift make a horror movie. Who knows what that would be? P says, "Hi Patrick, great video once again. I'm a pretty big fan of Taylor, who has previously sat down and watched all her videos in one sitting, so this was exciting to watch. The video has made me really think about filmmakers that have moved from directing music videos to feature films, like Spike Jonze, the Daniels, David Fincher, etc., and how their styles have evolved or remained the same across the two formats. Spike Jonze particularly, I find most interesting as a music video director, as he is able to explore an idea in so many visually creative ways throughout his videos. It's an interesting test to create a 3-minute film with only visuals that is interesting and feels complete while serving as an ad for a song. I'm not sure if that counts as a question, so I'll also ask which directors you'd like to see more of, or any music videos. All the guys who were like, especially like the 90s crew of the big video directors who had like the director's label DVD series, I mean, I'd love to see more from all of them. Like more Jonathan Glazer stuff. I know he has a movie coming out this year that was at the Cannes Film Festival, but I'm like, man, his videos were cool. Yeah, I mean, how about like Jonathan Dayton and Valerie Ferris? It's been a while since they did videos. I mean, I just miss the days where music videos like cost a ton of money and were like really elaborate because they played on television. Now they are so cheap because there's no way to justify spending a lot of money. Anyway, moving on. Jack Slack says, "Hey Patrick, what are your favorite films that were made by people better known for their music?" I mean, there's not a ton. Lemonade? It might have to be Lemonade, which is really great. Even though it is like a companion piece to an album, but you know, that like off the top of my head, that's the thing that comes to mind. Mystic Eddie T says, "Greetings, Patrick. I loved the video essay, as always. I'm curious, how much better did the Taylor Swift video essay actually perform with women viewers than the channel normally would on average?" Let's look it up in the analytics. So I've established before that my audience breakdown is about 90% male, 10% female. Or at least that's what YouTube tells me. So, the Taylor Swift video did better. Taylor Swift video so far, and we are currently at 100,000 views, 67% male, 32% female. I would love it to be like 50-50, but that is way better than 90-10. So I'll take it. And how did the experience of actually attending the Mission Impossible premiere compare with your expectations beforehand? Anything surprise you while you were there? I mean, well, the Rome premiere was basically pretty much what I hoped for. It was awesome. The whole thing was really just like, was so spectacular. It was just exciting to go to it. I had a great time. But the thing is, I did this past Monday go to the New York premiere. And at the New York premiere, I met Tom Cruise and Chris McQuarrie. And so that exceeded my expectations because I really didn't think that would happen. And it was really cool. Healed says, "On a scale of 1 to amazing, how good are Taytos?" They're feckin' brilliant. Stackar says, "Hi Patrick, I was wondering about the Everything is Copy line by Efron and your approach to semi-autobiography in your essays. The narrative sections have small elements of autobio like Matt moving out or the pandemic. Are these just there because of necessity or would you put them in regardless?" I think mostly out of necessity. I talk a lot more about that in the video from like, late 2021 about the like we accidentally made a feature film, and then the one from last summer about how we put together the whole Charles saga. But it's like I ended up in this like bizarre scenario where like, you know, suddenly I was making these videos, you know, where like I'm the main character and, you know, my family and friends are playing themselves in it. And like we never planned it this way from the beginning. It just kind of developed organically. And so there was already this weird overlap between like a fictional narrative, but then my real life. And then there's just things where like, you know, like Matt's a major character on the show. and then he's moving out of the city, and so he just won't be available to be in every episode anymore. And so we're like, well, we gotta deal with this in the narrative and, you know, make up a fictional reason for him to move out of town. Like, the pandemic affected everything so much. Like, that's why I was at my parents' house for 5 months. And so it's like, obviously, this has to be a part of the videos. But yeah, I am absolutely not looking to, like, you know, put, like, personal life stuff into my videos. Like, in general, I feel like other than really big things that are just going to impact how we shoot the videos, I'm not looking to put a whole lot of, like, stuff from my actual life into the videos. Apathy Monger says, I'm sure this will be brought up in the video before this, but if not, thoughts on the new Taylor Swift heist video for I Can See You. Yeah, I gotta say, I wish she could have released that video like a few weeks earlier when I was working on this episode, because it does kind of factor into the conversation. If you haven't seen it, when she released Speak Now, Taylor's version, it was accompanied by one of the new, like, From the Vault songs called I Can See You, and with another new music video, which she directed. And I think this one is really interesting. The DP on it is Jonathan Sella, who shot the first John Wick and has shot all of David Leitch's movies. And this one is like a heist action movie. I think the video is quite good. Like, I think the basic conceit of it, like the metaphor there of people, like, from Taylor Swift's past, like her actual real life past, are, like, connected to the, like, 2009-10 era of her life, staging a heist to, you know, break the old, like, Speak Now era her out of a vault, you know, as a metaphor for, like, rescuing the music that had been stolen from her, I think is pretty effective. My one major issue with the video is there's the scene where I think Joey King's character, like, breaks into this museum or whatever, and there's, like, a laser grid, and she has to, like, flip through all the lasers. And I'm like, that kind of scene was a cliche back in 2001 when they did it in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. And then in 2004, in Ocean's 12, they basically did the ultimate version of it, where it's like that scene is so good that, like, it's over. No one can do a scene of someone, like, acrobatically going through a laser grid ever again. And so I'm just like, you should have thought of something like more interesting, more original than that. But the rest of it, I think it's pretty clever. I think it looks really good. I think she shoots fight scenes surprisingly well. Like, the fight scenes in this are much better, like, shot and put together than the ones in Bad Blood, even though Joseph Kahn is, like, a way more experienced filmmaker with, like, actual, like, action experience. And also considering there's, you know, always all, like, the dumb reductive talk about, like, oh, Taylor Swift getting back at her ex-boyfriends. I'm like, I think putting Taylor Lautner in the video, who she dated back in, like, 2009 or 10 or whatever, I think just is, like, a kind of, like, a cool, mature thing to just, like, work with him. And so, yeah, I think, once again, it's like, I think she's doing interesting stuff with the videos. I'm excited to see what's next. I also love a heist. And okay, that is it for questions and comments from there. But we have one more part of this, as we always do. And oh my God, I am so sweaty. I'm gonna try to do this fast because I want to get out of this room. We have physical mail. We have real mail that arrived. It came to our P.O. box. The P.O. box is in the description of this video and every video. It's in the About section on the channel. If you want to send us mail that I will open in these videos, send it to the P.O. box. Also, if you want to send mail but don't want it opened in a video, attach a note that says, don't open this on camera. But anyway, this first one, this is from Tokyo. This is taped up very securely. Whoa. Whoa. We got a note here. Dear Patrick, I'm a British artist living in Tokyo. My family live in England, and me and my dad always watch your videos on Skype. That is awesome. I love that. Enclosed are Japanese movie posters and a bilingual movie zine I created called Peep Magazine. My dad is a similar age to your dad and loves his rants. Salud mi familia. The India video was incredible. Love from Japan. Theo Goodyear. P.S. My family lives in Brighton, close to Dover. If Emma wants a place to stay and free scones, hit me up. Emma might make it to those windy white cliffs. This is great. Check inside carefully. Theo, thank you. This is very cool. So we've got the zine, Peep Magazine. This is cool. Oh, there's like stickers and stuff. I love this. I feel like we get a lot of zines in these episodes. Cool. This is really nicely put together. I feel like I should do like a library story time thing. We got essays and stuff. We got artwork. Rosemary's Baby. This is in Japanese. Catwoman. Clockwork Orange. Evangelion. If anyone wants to look this up, I assume there's something about it online. It is Peep Magazine. This is great. Thank you so much, Theo. I will put it back in its protective plastic case. Awesome. And then, sorry, I'm getting very excited. I'm seeing my favorite stuff here. Oh man. So apparently Fast X is called Fire Boost in Japan. Amazing. We got Indy, we got The Flash, we got The Pope's Exorcist, we got Spider-Verse, and we've got Mission Impossible, but in Japanese. This is so cool. Oh man, I should get this framed. Specifically the Mission Impossible one. This is awesome. Theo, thank you so much. This is great. I've been wondering for days since I picked this up, like, what is in here from Japan? Okay, one more package. It's enormous. It won't even fit in the frame. I think I know what this is. Could it be the same image as this? Ooh, that is what I am talking about. This is such a good poster. This is so good. I gotta get this framed. I'm so glad that it's this poster, because the other one with the floating heads like is fine, but the teaser poster is the cool one. So this is from a movie theater. Attention theater managers, enclosed is a new teaser bus shelter for Mission Impossible. Please display this in your theater immediately upon receipt in a high traffic area. So this is so big. This is so big. I love that out of 2 packages, I got 3 different versions of the same Mission Impossible poster. This is from Ryan. Ryan, thank you so much. I do not know what I will do with this gigantic bus stop poster that they don't make frames this big. I do not know, but I will hold on to it. Here's our goal. We gotta make this channel more profitable so that I can get like an actual office or studio or something, and then hang this on a wall there. Because this is not gonna fit in a New York City apartment. It's just not gonna work. And we gotta put this up somewhere. That is our mission, should we choose to accept it. So that's it for this video. I need to get the hell out of this room, because it's so hot, and I feel like I'm melting. Summers in New York suck. They're awful. Anyway, thank you for watching this video. Thank you for watching the Taylor Swift video. Thank you for submitting great comments and questions and mailing awesome stuff. Once again, go buy the Night of the Coconut soundtrack on vinyl. Like, we only made so many of those, and I want them to be sold out. So go buy them. And anyway, that's all for now. Good night, everyone. Bye.